When I heard what WandaVision was doing, I know I've tweeted about it before. I'm like, I'm obsessed with that show. When I heard what they were doing, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I couldn't believe I had to like keep quiet about it for so long.
I was literally just like reading your tweets and how amazing they were.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thanks, Ash. It's so lovely to meet you. Thank you for making the time to speak to me. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I know you previously worked on Loki. What did you learn from working on Loki that you were able to take with you to Miss Marvel?
So much. I think that every single creative on Miss Marvel brought like a very specific, unique thing to the table. And one of my secret weapons was that I just worked in the first phase of television for Marvel Studios in terms of what we were creating. And the experience on Loki was incredible. I learned so much about how Marvel wanted to make television, which is different from how I think anybody on Earth makes television. And I think the learning about the process, the iterative process, which I really love, how the pieces fit together with the larger MCU and what the implications can be, and how to navigate that in the creative process, how to not be precious and how to also know when to be precious. Kind of having that model for that as Marvel Studios was making its first round of television shows was such a gift. And just being in the halls and being comfortable and familiar before I had to take on like much more responsibility on Miss Marvel was a great run up for somebody like me, who's a very anxious person. And also things like the other gift was having this, developing this rapport with the other writers on the other shows. So Malcolm Spellman, who's the head writer on Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Jack Schaefer was kind of across the hall from us. So like we joked in Miss Marvel room, it's kind of like the different high school cliques but not cliques in a mean way, but just inside of Marvel Studios. So when I was on Loki, there was the Winter Soldier was like on the other side of the hall. Next door was WandaVision, and Jack Schaefer has been such a generous, kind mentor and kind of person who's become a great friend of mine, who just being able to build those relationships first as I stepped into this role, and particularly with Jack, like I don't think I could have gone through any of this without her kind of guidance and knowledge. So that was a huge help to me in this creative process when I went into running Miss Marvel.
That is so cool that you were all just like in the same office at the same time. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, always trying to like, what are they doing in their show? Like always trying to get like when I heard what WandaVision was doing, I know I've tweeted about it before, I'm like, I'm obsessed with that show. When I heard what they were doing, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard. I couldn't believe I had to like keep quiet about it for so long.
It's like all the shows too have, I like how Marvel is exploring a lot of like genre and tones and styles, and like each one kind of has their own unique thing. What can you say about Miss Marvel's kind of unique style, the art, everything that kind of went into making it unique?
I think the thing that's interesting about this is we had a very specific run of the comics that we were looking at, which was relatively new compared to all of the other comics that everything else is based off of. And with Miss Marvel, if you look at the fabric of those comics, if you look at the artwork, if you look at all the craft that went into them, that whimsy, that magic, that layer and intricacy and detail in the background and the artwork, in the character building, we loved it. Every creative on the show loved it and wanted to honor it in the live action show. So being able to pull that and use that as like a kind of like a North Star in terms of the visual feel of the show and the fact that it's led by character. Everything in our show is led by character, and particularly Kamala. Her optimism and her joy, that has to spill out into the visual language. That has to be part of every element of the show. And I think what's really exciting, and you brought that up, is that in the process of already worked on one of the other shows, is knowing that the creative push from Marvel Studios is they bring in these creatives like myself, like our directors, like, for example, Jack and their director, and give them the freedom to craft out their corner of this MCU and the style of it, how they want to tell a story. In Loki, we were like creating the TVA and kind of the Mad Men style of all of that, and that was a darker tone. In this, we've got Kamala Khan, man. She's vibrant, she's joyous, she's wonderful, and I think that's the gift of having all these television shows, is you can craft out these tonal changes. And it means that that's the joy of Marvel. You can have all these different kinds of stories all fit under this big umbrella of the MCU. So, sorry, I'm a rambler, but it's a joy.
No, you're a joy to talk to. And we're kind of talking about how TV is kind of this new era of Marvel, and people have been asking for Kamala for years and years and years. Was there ever the conversation about whether it should be a movie or a TV show, and why was TV the right route to go, do you think?
If there was a conversation about it, I wasn't there for it. I was already part of the TV gang. And really, I just kind of, actually when I approached, because Kevin Wright was our exec on Loki, we had a great working relationship, and I said to him, like, right, then if you guys are doing a Miss Marvel project and you haven't told me about it, I'm gonna be mad and we won't be friends anymore. And so he went away, came back, and he got me a meeting the next day. And at that point, it was already decided that it was going to be a television show. And I think the way it fit, I don't know what their overall plans are, because if they told them to me, I would tell absolutely everybody. But we already knew when we started when we started the creative process on the show, that she was destined for the Marvels. I already knew that when we started the process. So that did affect the character arc in terms of, we start as a teenage girl without powers, and I got to get her ready for whatever happens in that movie, which I don't know, they won't tell me, rightfully so, because I will spill the beans.
Love that. I wish I had so much more time with you, but I got to wrap. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Please take care.
Take care.